All right. Cool. Welcome back to this Walk the Talk show, episode 11. Every Thursday, that's today, friends of the Bitcoin Walk community connect online for this live stream. So I get to talk with different fellow Bitcoiners from different walks of life, different places around the world, with whom we share the same vision. We want to fix the money and fix the world, and we do that in real life in the mid space on Saturdays. We go for Bitcoin walks. We take it offline. So if that resonates with you, wherever you are, you can put down your phone and just go touch some grass on Saturday and have a real conversation with someone about why sound money matters and what it means for the future of our communities.
Yeah.
Head to bitcoinwalk.org to find the nearest walk near you or start one wherever you are. It doesn't require any permission. It's free. You just go. I'm Endo, and my guest today is Alfonce Ouma from Beyond Adversity from Kenya. Alphonse, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great.
I have to apologize. We had a big.
Uh,
I have to. Well, we had a bit of a funny situation because we tried to do that another like a couple of days ago, but you couldn't make it on time. And today, actually, I had a power cut over in Europe where it's like it's supposed to be stable. We're not supposed to
wow.
have power cuts,
You
and
know,
boom,
you know,
there you go.
I was thinking that are we not aligned or something? But anyway, yeah, we are.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Alphonse, can you make your audio a little more louder?
Yeah. How about now?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think the microphone is not picking everything up, but we should be fine. We should be fine with to go with that. So
How
um,
about now? It's okay.
yeah, yeah, we can try. We can try. Sure.
Okay.
Awesome, cool. So yeah, thanks for taking the time, and again, appreciate you being on the show. I want to talk to you because you've been doing a lot of work in Kenya, where I would say the life is quite different to what I am familiar with.
Yeah.
And I know you have an interesting story. You're a proper Bitcoiner. You're orange pilled. You took it as your mission to actually educate others and to promote Bitcoin and to share Satoshi's vision, which is amazing and very honorable thing. But I want to go back to your story, the origin, like from Kibera to Migori. How you got to where you are today to start a podcast. Tell me about Beyond Adversity podcast, how it started, what made you like, how you doing, how you keep on growing that. What are the biggest challenges? Let's start with that, and maybe a little bit of background on yourself and how the whole journey for you started.
All right. So it's a real pleasure to be, of course, on the Bitcoin workshop. So we are talking the work, right? So I'm super excited. So my name is Alfonso. Of course, I'm building at Beyond Adversity, BTC podcast, and of course, Academy. So I'm a Bitcoin educator working in Kenya. My journey with Bitcoin has been deeply connected to adversity. And of course, the belief that where you come from should not limit, your access towards, towards education, opportunity, and financial freedom. So of course, today I'm working to bring, Bitcoin education to young people and underserved communities, especially in rural areas such as Migori. So I'm not just teaching people what Bitcoin is, but we are trying to explore how education, technology, connectivity, and of course, local economies can help community create their opportunities. So for me, growing up, so I do have a tech background. So I used to have these classes in Nairobi, that is Kibera. So I was teaching people, like I had a couple of students over there. I was taking them through web development, of course, application. It was totally software development. So it was around 2023, early 2023, where Ronnie, that is Ronnie from Afribit, that is founder Afribit, came to my class actually. And I was like, "Whoa, do you guys know about Bitcoin?" And I was like, "Okay, I think I've heard about Bitcoin before." But then how he said it, I was like, "Whoa, okay, I think I know it." So he walked out. When he walked out, and I was like, "Let me follow him and get to your house." So he told me what Bitcoin is, and of course he did a first transaction. It was 50 Kenyan shillings. I was excited about that. So big shout out to Ronnie wherever he is, found Afribit Kibera. It was the biggest circular economy in Kenya. So after that, now I made a personal relationship with Ronnie where I was visiting him into his house, learning about Bitcoin. And something that he did, he sent me a couple of documents. Number one, he sent me my Prima Bitcoin course. That is my first Bitcoin.
Hmm.
So the thing that I did that was funny with that, I felt like reading it online kind of was distracted because I wanted to scroll. So I went ahead and of course printed the leaflet, like all the pages. So I had a hard copy of that.
Hmm.
So I went through the my first Bitcoin course, and after that I was like, then because I already had student, I already have a hub where I was teaching the student. I was like, whoa, if this is something that is changing my mind, because I came to realize how, how the government work, how the church system is. Now I was kind of conscious, of how things are. And I was like, whoa, then I can do what? I can incorporate this into my curriculum. So I studied something called financial literacy, where we were learning about money, how can you save money, budgeting about whatever that you've gotten from wherever you're working from, and building on top of that, boom, I introduced Bitcoin into that. So for me, I've been always doing physical classes. That is from my role. But then something happened, something very funny happened then. So you find that I did, in Nairobi, I think I did almost 5 cohorts, and it reached a point where I thought, whoa, if I've done 5 cohorts, and each cohort, it was around more than 20 students physically. So I was like, what if each student can get to tell their stories, you know? Then for me, I always believe that my story might, inspire somebody somewhere, and of course, your story might inspire me to do whatever that I'm doing. So I was thinking, how can I get to do this? What if we start a podcast? Okay, then that is a good way for them to give them opportunity, to showcase whatever they've learned, where they've come from, and of course, all the stuff they've been experiencing. So that is, we've been learning about Bitcoin now. Bitcoin have faced a couple of challenges, being banned, made government, and that is early adoption of Bitcoin. So you find it has gotten a couple of challenges. But then I do have a personal life as well. But then I believe that each and everything that I'm going through, it is like a stepping stone to where I need to be. So I was like, well, if I have a couple of my problems, then now we are adopting Bitcoin, and it's working as money. Regardless of those bans made, it is working as money. Then even my life with my challenges, with my adversity, I can get beyond that. So Beyond Adversity was born out of the hope, out of Bitcoin, that each and everything that you go through, you'll always bounce back to the light.
Yeah.
So that is how the name Beyond Adversity BTC podcast came out. And the last concert I did in Nairobi was around the fifth cohort, but then I was working at I was teaching at a local organization, but then they relocated. So when I went to the rural, I went to the rural I had like a 3 day tour of 5, and I was like, whoa, there is a couple of people. So it is a lakeside community, people are surrounded by lake. So and there is a couple of stuff happening, diversity, people are diversified doing businesses. And I was like, whoa. Number one thing, when I look around, people lack the knowledge because I try to interact with the locals. They do have smartphones, but the best thing that I can do with the smartphone is find that they only scroll on TikTok, nothing more, and perhaps maybe chat on WhatsApp. So I was like, whoa, what if we bring something new to this side? Then now That is how Beyond Adversity Academy came out. So we thought of a place, and of course, I do have access to, I do have access to machines, laptops, and I was like, well, I'm gonna carry this, take them to the rural area, find a place, set a hub, and that is how Beyond Adversity Academy came into place. And now, right now, we did a meetup, that is a meetup 1.0, supported of course by Trace Academy. Big shout out to Joseph. I do really appreciate that, and of course,
Have you shared the link with Joseph to this? Because I got someone,
oh,
Echo Bits, someone joining
Ecobit,
the live stream. Shall we let
Ecobit
him in?
Oh yeah, Ecobit. I know of Ecobit. He is a friend of mine.
All right. Hello, Echo Bits. You're on screen now. You can say, well, show yourself if you want,
Yeah, yo, man, Kev.
or maybe he didn't expect to do that. Anyway,
I just not lost. I was at
Alphonse, I want this conversation to keep going because I think the Bitcoin adoption story and the understanding and the needs for Bitcoin in Africa are very different to Europe. I think you guys, because of Africa's story, you are more and the lack of stable currencies as they were in Europe, like, or in the United States. I think maybe you guys understand Bitcoin better. People in Africa generally understand Bitcoin better, or have the need to understand Bitcoin better than people in Europe. That's my um very high level opinion. What do you think about that? Have I lost you there? I think I have. Hello, hello. I think we did lose. Okay, let me try to add you in again. Okay,
Okay.
so I was just talking about the differences on between the Bitcoin adoption in Europe and in Africa, and I
Mhm.
think that you guys, because of Africa's history and maybe the history of your currencies that are that weren't so strong, maybe my assumption is that people in Africa are actually better positioned to understand Bitcoin than people in Europe. What do you think about
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I think I've never been to Europe though, but then in Africa, I think it does make sense because it's easier because in Kenya, like let me say, for instance, the case of Kenya, it's easier for people to learn about Bitcoin because of the things that is happening. Like for us, it kind of looks practical and real because number one thing, when we talk about Bitcoin, we have the story of inclusion. So, in Kenya, to access some things like banking services or even mobile banking, there are some of the things that you must have. Things like national ID, KRA PIN, in order for you to have a bank account. To me, if you doesn't have such things, then there is no way you can have those accounts. To me, if you lack an account, then now you lack access to whatever that opportunity that might arise within that. Then number two, that is inclusivity. Then number two, you know, the inflation. So you find in Kenya, you find that when I was growing up, the bread that I would buy maybe at $0.5, perhaps. Right now, it's around maybe one point something. So the value of the product kind of goes up, but then the product stays the same.
Yeah.
So when you show somebody that, hey, check, this is how these things work. Check the value that we used to get out of this. But right now it is the same, but then the price goes up. So, people tend to resonate with that because it is really and it's happening. And of course,
Alphonse,
another third
Alphonse,
thing,
can I
sorry,
ask how old are you?
I am 26. I just turned 26 last week, Thursday, on 24th.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. So in 26 years of your life, you can see this the price of bread more than
Yeah,
doubling.
sure, for real, for real. Like when I was growing up, when I was maybe sent for bread, like for Christmas Day,
Mhm.
a while back when I was a kid, you could be given 1,000 shillings. 1,000 shillings is like around $10.
Okay.
So $10 you could buy wheat flour, you could buy bread, you could buy. But right now, you can't buy anything on that. And of course, last time I checked, I see that the purchasing power of the 1,000 Kenyan shilling, that is $10, is around $8 purchasing power. So you can realize how you know the inflation thing is high. So people tend to relate to that because it is something practical and they see it. So that is number two. Number one was inclusivity. Then number two was inflation. Then of course number three is the transaction fees. Something really happens. Something really happens very funny. Like when I send so these things we do them practically. So in Kenya we are privileged, we use mobile banking a lot than person.
Hmm.
But then there are a couple of transaction fees that they do charge. But then when we compare with Bitcoin, you find that with Bitcoin it's almost zero or very lower fees compared to that. So people tend to resonate with that because they see the real impact of that. Yeah, and then talking about the transaction fees, it kind of makes sense for business people because business people tend to rely on those small coins. If you're a businessman, you know the value of even 1 shilling. So it kind of resonates with them. So for me, I always go with the three building blocks on my academy. So number one
Hmm.
is inclusivity, something that is very realistic and they can see it. Because in the community, we do have some people who are immigrants from other countries. Like right now, I am at the border of Kenya and Tanzania. So I find there are some of the Tanzanian people who are
Hmm.
here, but then they don't have access to national ID, that is Kenyan national ID, Kenya Revenue Authority certificate. They don't have. So to me, they are out of the fiat system of Kenya. So, but then with Bitcoin, it gives them an
Okay.
opportunity, to change value and to communicate, in a way that it doesn't get to restrict them. So, no longer they do have an internet and of course a smartphone or even a button because the Machankura thing is already working in Kenya. So that is how I
Yes.
go about it. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I know Mashakura. I know M-Pesa. Can you tell me a little bit about these projects? Like how are they doing? Are people using them? Are they very popular in where you are?
Yeah, of course. Right now, I think it's a real privilege because I am the first person to take Bitcoin to the that is Western Kenya, I guess. That is the low community.
Hmm.
So with my experience over here is that people really those that have attended my meetup, the bootcamp that I did last week as well, they are really curious and they are really interested. So number one thing, most of them they do embrace. So number one, they do embrace Machankura. In what way? So Machankura gives you an option to, access the network layer using the USSD code, USSD code. So you find that some of the people in the rural, they don't have smartphones, but they have the small phones, the button
Yeah.
phones. Yeah, so they can't access the internet. But
So
then
just
the
basic
Machankura,
phones. Yeah.
yeah, they can access the network layer, with the USSD card provided with the Machankura. That is number one. And number two, most of them, of course, do have smartphones. And of course, we do use simple wallet like Blink, and of course, wallet of Satoshi.
Yeah.
And that is something that they are really embracing. Like right now, after the meetup and the bootcamp, now we have three merchants. Number one is a barber shop just beside me over here. Is accepting Bitcoin. So now, when I am in the rule, I need to have an haircut. I can pay with Bitcoin right now.
Hmm.
And then I don't know if you saw my video yesterday. Of course, one of my Bitcoin educators, that is beyond adversity, Bitcoin educators, one of them in the rural, just had to receive his gas yesterday and paid with Bitcoin.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I think he can say something about that. Can I call him onto this?
Yeah,
Yo,
of course.
come say something, man. Just giving me just a minute. So can say something. Yo,
Hello.
oh,
Hey, how are you? Actually, Alphonse, I was wondering, maybe because your audio is still quite muted, like if you're underwater. Maybe you can turn off the headphones and try just your computer microphone. Maybe this will be better. Now I have you. I think you're muted now. Do you want to unmute
We
yourself?
good? We good?
Hey, that's better. That's much better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
So,
what's your name? Sorry,
Okay, this is Jose, Bitcoin educator
Joseph.
at Beyond University Academy.
yeah,
Amazing, Joseph. I think Alphonse was telling me about maybe you can
yeah,
take the lead on the Bitcoin walk in Migori.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a nice way to educate people to meet together, go for a walk, have a conversation. Show some application, discuss some software. It's a very easy format,
yeah,
and we take this picture that we put on Noster. It's called proof of walk, where we take a picture of our shoes in a circle. Everybody who comes for a Bitcoin walk, we post them, and if you post them and you add the hashtag proof of walk and you tag the Bitcoin walk, we will repost you. You'll get some zaps. You get some Satoshi flying through Noster to you. I'm
yeah.
sure Alphonse can help you with that. Are you already on Noster or not yet?
Not yet. He,
not
he,
yet.
he,
Not
he,
yet.
he he will get onto it.
Perfect. Well, make sure that we connect. When you're there, just find me. I'm Endo. Yeah, we can connect and we can start having fun there as well. It's a very different world over there, where people like you and me, we can be from different countries, different continents, but we're the same.
Yeah, sure.
We're Bitcoiners. Like it's we understand that this is how the future of the world will look like. The future of money will be built on Bitcoin, and in this future, I will be able to make to pay for your barber or buy you a coffee from where I'm here, without any bank or any institution in between. So
Yeah,
this all this fintech mafia, all that goes away, and we can transact peer to peer like Satoshi designed it to be. So that is amazing.
yeah,
That is a real revolution, and we're all equal. One sat for me is one sat for you. It might be buying. It might have different purchasing power. You can buy probably a coffee where I am now is much more expensive than in Migori or in somewhere in Kenya, but this doesn't matter because we operate on the same unit of account, and that's the whole revolution.
yeah,
um, Amazing. So I'm glad to meet you as well. I think that the more people get into Bitcoin, the better. And if you're interested into this, if you understand Bitcoin, then you're probably excited as I am as well, and Alphonse, because this is something that gives me hope. You know, and I think it gives you hope as well, because I don't know, the history of Kenya or history of your region, but I know my history, and I know how much bad doing, wrongdoing was done to people in this place of part of the world, and I know that Africa suffered a lot as well. And Bitcoin is basically taking away all the power from all the financial institutions, all the central bankers, and is giving the power to the people. So it's a real advantage we have here. And we're still early. The fact that you are already there and you already heard about Bitcoin, maybe you own some Bitcoin. I don't need to know, but basically that's you're ahead. So getting more people to understand that, and sharing sats with other people who provide value, that's important. I do encourage you guys to keep doing the good job you're doing. And I want to go back to the Bitcoin Learning Hub. What's the plan for the Learning Hub? Tell me.
So the plan is to uh, create a sustainable place, not just a one-time thing, but a consistent, a consistent learning environment for the rural economy. So number one thing is that we are privileged, to have access to internet. We are privileged to have access to some computers, some little laptops over here. So the biggest vision behind Beyond Adversity Hub is that we are nurturing resilient communities. Like, in as much as we are we don't have access to these opportunities, but then with for them coming over here, there is an opportunity for them to get access to this stuff. So what we do is just to make sure we give them opportunity to explore things that maybe they'll never explore before. So that is what we do, just giving them access to the outer world, because right now, the world is like a global village right now. So, and some of them don't know about that. So we are trying to, we are giving them that information, and of course giving them opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that they get at par with the technology, the opportunities. And of course the biggest thing is that I'm looking forward to a community where even if we are not around, there is something that can still get to continue.
Continue.
Because I always believe that we won't be here forever, but then when we gone, there's somebody who needs to take it. But then before taking it, there is a solid foundation that we need to lay. So that is why I am big on physical training. So that is the essence of the hub.
You have no idea how much this resonates with me and with Bitcoin Walk, because like I started the Bitcoin Walk around 4.5 years ago, and I made it a weekly, every Saturday we go for a walk, and we interact with each other, we have a conversation, we share news, we ask some questions. If there is something that I don't know, I can ask the question, somebody will explain that to me. But that has become a habit. Like every week, you repeat that, and people from different places around the world started to come to join us, and then they said, "This is a great idea. I want to do it in my in my hometown." And Bitcoin Walk started spreading. So there is different chapters, multiple chapters of Bitcoin Walks around the world. And I think that I don't want to jinx it, but I think that I managed to achieve what you just described. Like, even without me, this thing continues. So it's to me, I feel that this is great. This is how we can contribute. It's not people. There's different ways to contribute. There are some people who are technical. There are some people who are wealthy and they can sponsor your initiative. But there are also educators, people who put their time and energy, their patience, to work with kids and with and educate them. So that's very very honorable work you're doing there, and I salute you for that. So what outcomes have you seen so far from from the boot camps and from the hub workshops?
Oh, it's a lot. Number one thing, from the boot camps, number one, or from the meetups. So the big outcome that I've seen, the biggest impact that I've seen is the circular economy growing up. Like I didn't follow them and ask them, man, would you like to accept Bitcoin into your business? No. But then after the meetup, and then those that have attended the meet, some of them came back to the bootcamp class that went for a week, and they were like, I do have this business and I'd love to accept this. Why don't pay me in cash? Just pay me in Bitcoin. So you can get to see the value that they've already seen out of it. So that is number one. Number two is how, so for me, the biggest thing that I've been always looking forward to, because for me, I do love to explore, culture, mindsets, how people think, how, a community operates. So number one thing that I've come to realize is that how people now, those that have attended our programs, how they relate with money.
Mm-hmm.
find that they do have a different conviction compared to which of those that they had before.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, number one thing is the interest of growing circular economy. That is just to make sure that we use Bitcoin practically. Number two is how now they think about money, because even some of them didn't know about something to call inflation, purchasing power. What is a need, what is a want. And after that they are like, whoa, man, there is something that I can do other than that. Then now they tend to understand now how the system works, how the governments work. To me, for me, the conversation that I'm having with them is that when we started before, because we have engaged at a certain level, how where they blamed, they put their blames, how they talked about the government. Right now, it's kind of different because they see the outcome clearly, and they now know how to get out of that without even uh, disrupting maybe somebody else doing something. Because for me, I think those that have attended our meetups, we are not in a position to tell you, whoa, leave this, take this. No, 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 no. We give you both sides. We tell you, this is what we have. You have the fiat system, you have the Bitcoin. Then this is the Bitcoin, this is the fiat system, and
Mm-hmm.
these are the benefits and these are the differences. So they get to choose whatever they feel resonate with them. So
Yeah.
that is my biggest outcome and impact, of course.
Fantastic. I
Yeah.
think what we forget today, and you mentioned that that there are people just scrolling TikTok or Instagram or things like that. That just looking for constant dopamine rush. Very short attention span. People who cannot uh, imagine that their life more than a year from now. Like 1 year is already woo. Like in 1 year, it's some distant future, and we have to zoom out to think in decades, minimum decades. Like if you think about yourself when you're 36 or 46. I'm 46, by the way. But basically, if you zoom out and you look into the life of yourself and your region, your country, what is going to be in 10 years? This is what we should be thinking about Bitcoin. Like, don't think about Bitcoin. Oh, I'm going to get, rich quick, or, I get some Bitcoin and it's going to go to the moon. That's not what's happening. It's actually, somebody said very, very wisely that Bitcoin is not a get rich quick scheme, but it's don't get poor slowly scheme.
Yeah.
So if you're saving money, I'm sure you know that already. But forever, whoever is watching that, if you share this video, if you're saving your money in fiat currency, in like Kenyan paper currency, it's like holding an ice cube. It's
Mm.
just keeps on melting, and with time there'll be nothing left. um,
Correct.
with with Bitcoin, it's completely different. It may be not worth as much right now, but it's because it's finite amount and the world waking up to it, the amount that you have will eventually grow in value a lot.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It's a game, guys. It's a game. It's very simple. You collect those points and you keep them. You keep them safe. You protect them as much and as long as you can, because they will be worth more in the future. And yeah, it's like everybody's life. This is the best thing, that everybody's life gets better on the Bitcoin standard. There
Yeah.
is no
For
loser.
and something that is happening is with me. For me, my desire is to make each and every person that I've come into contact with feel like there is a humanity in the world. You know,
Yeah,
there is a way Bitcoin does that to me, because in as much as things happen, there is how we are equal in some way. So for me, my desire is to make sure that if I get a contact with you, and of course spend some time with you, I need you to feel like, whoa, there is still humanity. And some of the things that give me hope to do that is Bitcoin. And
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. You can, like, it's, you get to see the pictures of the suits and the Wall Street, and Michael Saylor and the big boys somewhere in America buying thousands of Bitcoin. don't think about that. Like we are all Satoshi. Let's live our life where we are. I think that if you understand what you are, you're Michael Saylor. Like you're using the same money as he is, the same league. That's the equalizer. You have the same access to create value and to store your time and energy in the same kind of money as they do. So it's a revolution. It will take many years, maybe it will take generations, but we are at the point where we can actually save sats. And if you save 10,000 sats today, like your kids or your grandkids will tell that you're a legend. So basically it's amazing. And of course we have to live, we have to spend our Bitcoin as well. So to me, Bitcoin is teaching me to work hard, to earn my sats, and to save them, but also to spend them. And but when I spend them, I think twice if I really need to spend them, because maybe I prefer not to buy something new, a new toy or whatever, and instead I want to save that. So it's a very good lesson, especially for the Western world, which is full of capitalism, full of consumptionism. People overconsume. I lived in the UK for a long time, and it's heartbreaking to tell what country UK has become. United Kingdom, has become a country of cheap clothes, where there are some people who are actually just buying clothes to wear them and then they throw them away right away.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
tell me something about Europe, because yesterday I was having a chat with Adrian and he was telling me about the tax thing.
in Europe is generally quite heavily taxed. There is a lot of tax in like income tax and corporate tax and VAT, value added tax. So basically, because of socialism, we get some good things like free healthcare, free education, but it's not really free. Like it's being paid for by the deficit from the government. It's people pay taxes. People pay a lot of taxes in Europe, and in Scandinavia specifically, taxes are really really high. Because they have, they also have benefits for people who come from other countries and want to live in those countries.
And tell
Um,
me, what does that do to your to your time and of course your mindset? How maybe your emotions or something?
yeah, so it's a very good question. I'm glad you asked that. In Europe, there is a lot of people. I'm sure you heard about that. There's a lot of people from Africa who want to escape and want to come to Europe
Mhm.
because there's free money, because there is benefits, there is social support. But this is all illusion. Like your life where you are, you're at home.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe you don't have so much money, but you're happy over there.
Yeah, for
If
real.
you go to Norway, Sweden, UK, I'm not from UK. I'm from Poland, and I moved to UK. I lived in UK for 15 years. I've been working there. When I can work over there and I can earn money, it's fine. But I'm being treated as a resource. I go to work. I provide value, and then the moment I'm no longer needed,
Oh
thank you
yeah.
very much. Goodbye, c'est la vie. Good luck. um, and I was lucky because I was living there at the time where the economy was doing quite well, so I could find another job and another job. Um, but you don't get the stability. You don't feel like you're actually building something for yourself. It's more like you're hustling all the time. And if you come from another continent and you want to fit in, it's hard. It's hard. Um, Europe has a big demographic problem. So actually, people from Africa are welcome, supposedly. Africa and Middle East, and countries that are distressed. A lot of Islamic countries as well. Um, so people come over to Europe because they are lured by the idea of benefits. Hey, you're gonna get 1,000 euros. Just sign some papers and. But that's not life, and it's not sustainable. It could be a few months that you get some money in, but people like that, if you do, imagine that I come to your country and I'm living there and I'm taking all the money from taxes from government. Are you gonna like me or not?
No, no.
Probably not. Probably not.
literally I won't, because I'll feel like, whoa, you're robbing something out of me.
Exactly, and that's the general sentiment
Oh, yeah.
in Europe, and I feel super bad because there are people from underprivileged countries flowing in, coming in, but they don't have the cultural assimilation. They are from different countries, different cultures. Oftentimes they don't speak the language, so there is this idea of maybe a little bit of racism building up as well, which I don't like, but it is what it is. And that's why I feel that actually Africa, people in Africa should build where they are. You guys should, and we should be supporting Africa to to
And
make up for the decades of inequality and colonialism and stuff like that, and help you guys achieve and build better world where you are.
yeah, for it. And I think there is something that we need to bring to people's attention, because for me, I think I've been observing something that perhaps we are not, grateful for whatever we have. So that is something that I think the community, Bitcoin community, and Bitcoin, we should be grateful for whatever that we have. And then, of course, number two, I do believe that people tend to escape away from their adversities. So they feel like, okay, I'm going through this over here. When I go to this place, perhaps I'm not going to to feel the way I'm feeling. But then for me, I think in one way or the other, you must feel the pain of something. And that is that is now where we are saying we are nurturing resilient communities. So for me, my biggest, I do advocate for resilience, in as much as you are doing what, you know, just be resilient, knowing that it won't persist. At the end of the day, you must get back onto it. So
Absolutely.
we'll always go beyond adversity anyway.
Absolutely, and I think what I already can observe is that when you should not depend on the government, whether you live in Europe or Africa or anywhere else. Don't fuck the government. Don't depend on government. Governments are psychopaths who basically run their countries, and they are there because they've been, they this is the way they chose to live. And I can tell that from experience because I work for some people who are related to government. They are not. They don't want to. They don't have the skill to basically provide value and to be good people. They're playing games, and they're playing games at your cost. So just ignore that. This is all noise. It doesn't matter which party.
Yeah.
Put that aside. If there are politicians who are pro Bitcoin and who want to promote Bitcoin and just preach Bitcoin and educate about Bitcoin, yeah, give them a chance to talk. Give and say, okay, you're. I agree with what you say. I can vote for you. Don't believe anything about anything they're gonna give you for free. Anything they're gonna provide a new hospital, new road, or something like whatever. This is all bullshit. Sorry. So basically, if there is somebody who understands sound money and understands that only this way we can build a community locally where we are, on sound basis, on sound money, then our communities will thrive. And when there is times of prosperities, we will thrive more. We will save more. We will build the infrastructure. We will be better off. And when there's a time of crisis, we will have the assets that others will want to trade with.
Yeah.
Because if Kenyan currency, I don't even know what's the name of currency in Kenya.
Kenyan shillings.
Okay. If the Kenyan shilling, if the inflation keeps on dropping like 20, 30, 40%, nobody will want to buy shilling. Nobody will want to trade with that. So you have to pay even more to make trade with foreign countries. But if your money is Bitcoin, if you hold Bitcoin instead of shilling, that's a different story. You will be able to trade with everybody around the world on the same basis, and you will be respected.
Yeah, for real. I think it does make sense, because it gives us the opportunity to equalize on our ideas. So for me, that has been always upsetting me is of course, I do honor those that are ahead, but there is a way people have demonized the superiority of whatever that they do. Because, for instance, when you have maybe perhaps around around $100 Kenyan shillings. When you go with it to Tanzania, whoa, you really have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So but then Bitcoin act as an equalizer to all this that we see.
Yeah,
So I think yeah, it does make sense. It does resonate with those that really help to grab into this. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Cool, Alphonse. I want to keep to our agenda that we somehow we already diverted from, but I want to go back to that. It's a very passionate and interesting conversation. But I want to go back to Kenya and your infrastructure. I recently read an article by Eric from Gridless about how Nairobi got to be Nairobi, how it is today, because of the railway that was built over there, and and effectively, it like the whole city just developed over there and was connected with other places around the world, in Africa. Um, so how is the infrastructure for you? I know you from our previous conversation that you're running your internet off Starlink.
Mhm.
How is the access to the internet generally in let's say Migori, where you are?
So what I've really done, because when we have the hub and we are talking about it, so number one thing that we must accept, that is number one, right?
Yeah.
And so over here, I won't say that I don't have anything against Safaricom or something, but then you find that bundles are kind of expensive compared to the when you pay subscription compared to the one that you pay to Starlink. It's kind of cheaper in a way. Yeah, so we do have a Starlink, and just to make sure that we leverage on the Starlink subscription. So what we've done, we've outsourced a couple of equipments. So we do wireless connection. So we do have hotspot points within the Muhuru, within the area. So why we are doing that is, number one, we are targeting circular economy. And in order for circular economy to thrive, we need access to internet. So number one thing, what we do is that our circular economy merchants will be like agents of internet. So when we set a hotspot point to where we have a merchant, is gonna act like an agent to us. So we are gonna give him a free code to make sure that he is always connected to the internet.
Hmm.
But then when his customers comes in, he tells them how to buy, you know. And so right now we are using M-Pesa, of course, to get the revenue from them. 5 shillings about that is 0.0 something dollars. So they get to pay those small amounts. They kind of help us, just to sustain whatever that is happening over here. And another thing is that we do have the hub. Of course, I said I'd mentioned that we do have access to machines, laptops. So we run a cyber cafe over here where we do things like KRA applications, like the cyber services. So people tend to pay with that. And something we do also run classes like web development classes, graphic design classes over here, just to make sure, because at the end of the day, in as much as I do this thing, in as much as I do these things, we need to eat, we need to pay for rent. And of course,
Hmm.
we must, we must get things going. So that is how our infrastructure is. But then we are still growing though, because we are kind of new into this, but I'm super positive towards it, that it's gonna, yeah, it's working out.
Amazing. No, that's music to my ears, and I just salute the challenges that you overcome, and the fact that you get Starlink. It's impressive. Can I ask, how much is your subscription fee for Starlink, like, per month?
It's that is around 3,600. Let me check. That is how many dollars? That is around 21 or something. $21.
$21. That's a magic number.
Let me check. 129. Let me just give you the exact number real quick. It's about $28 a
Okay,
month.
amazing, cool. So I'm gonna say to everybody who's watching this to pay off for your Starlink for the rest of the year. Send some sats to that lightning address on screen, and you'll do something good. Yeah, and we'll get some shout out to you as well. Alfonso, I've got one more project that I'm working on, and I want to share that with you as well. It's called Net for Sats, netforsats.com. It's basically a way to do what you're already doing. You're sharing Wi-Fi from your Starlink through hotspots with other neighbors and merchants. Net for Sats will allow you to monetize that as well. So if you wanted to do it commercially, I mean, I think you're doing amazing job providing that at cost or for free to your merchants. But if you wanted to open it to anybody to use completely free, completely openly, then people could basically send you some sats to get access to the internet.
Yeah.
And this could be done. This could be done with both Lightning and eCash. So I don't know if you have had any experience with eCash, but eCash, it's basically it allows you to send eCash token even if you're offline. So from Minibits or any other eCash wallet, you can, even if you're on offline, you can generate an eCash token, get to this Net for Sats Wi-Fi, paste it there, and then you're already on the internet. And the best part is that you are the ISP, so like we don't get to you all the sats are coming to you. So you can do it. You can give people like micro payments, like one sat for 100 megabytes or something like that, or even more. You're in control. You can do it yourself. And I think this could be a potentially a good use case for people to get some sats and play with that. Like I learned most by just using Bitcoin. It's probably easier to learn Bitcoin by using it than to explain to somebody sometimes. So that might be a good use case. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. I think, yeah, why not? Because I've been having some conversation with SetNet, but then I've not gotten in touch to them as well. But then, yeah, of course. For me, I'm always, I'm always open to learn new things.
We are
So for
so
me,
net for net
so
for
long as
sats is,
so long as it will serve the purpose, the vision of me seeing young people, access these opportunities and letting them know that even if you are doing whatever that you are doing, there is somebody who is willing to support you. There
yeah.
is somebody who is willing to walk the way through with you. So yeah. So for me, anything that is as a mission to support young people and to give them hope, count me in, man.
Amazing. Awesome. Cool. So on that note, I'm going to go to the last point that I put on our little agenda about the unbanked majority and general state of things and how it is in Africa and in Kenya specifically. How many people own bank accounts in Kenya? Is that like most people, or tell me about
No,
it?
I don't have the exact numbers, but I would say it's those that have bank accounts. I would say it's when we rate it over 100%, I would say 40%.
40%.
40%.
So
But
60%
I'll
of
just,
people.
yeah, I'll just check out the numbers. Then of course I'll share with you. But I'm so sure about it can't go over 40% because number one thing, in order for you to have a bank account, you need to have national ID. Number two,
Mhm.
you want to have KRA pin. And then, in order for you to have all these, there are a couple of criteria that they gauge to see whether you are eligible to get that.
Right.
But then, when you check the population of Kenya, now that we are using mobile banking, the M-Pesa,
Hmm.
people prefer to use M-Pesa than banks. So it is really clear that banking, like banks in Kenya, people really doesn't embrace it at that much compared to M-Pesa. M-Pesa now it's a big thing. M-Pesa is around, I would say, population around 95% or 90 people are using M-Pesa.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So that's basically M-Pesa is like a bridge, right?
Yeah.
It's money in your phone. It's like
Yeah. It's a
tied
mobile
up,
bank.
but it's tied to your telephone number.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Your telephone number. Yeah,
Okay.
but I think the issue of inclusivity still exists at all cost, because even for you to get to enroll into M-Pesa, you need to have number, yeah, right? Right?
Yes.
And in order for you to have telephone number in Kenya, you must own an identity card.
Right. Yeah.
Kenyan. So to me, if you lack the Kenyan identity card, then of course you don't have the access. But then,
Well,
so that,
officially.
yeah, that is at a lower level. So to me, number one thing, there are a couple of people who doesn't have access to that because of the limitations that the system has placed. Then number two, I would say maybe perhaps on things like investing or something. So you find that in Kenya, let me say, if you want to invest in government bonds or stocks, something, you know. So when they bring in the application for the bonds, do you know where you get the link for applying that? You get at the central bank. That is Kenya Central Bank website. So to me,
Okay.
you can now see the middleman thing in between. So and of course it needs a couple of money, because in order for you to invest in government bonds, it needs like I would say like $500 or something. So you can imagine $500 for maybe a guy who is starting out on something. So it is clearly is out of it, right? So yeah, there is a couple of limitations, but then with Bitcoin there is a how, it gives people opportunity, receive value. And of course, for me, I truly believe that the fiat system has a way of gatekeeping. Like
Of course.
in order for me to talk to Endo, man, I need to go through somebody else.
Yeah.
Which for me, sometimes I do feel like at some point I do think maybe it's good, maybe I don't know. But for me, I do feel like it's not good. When I need to do something with you, let's do it, right? Like for instance, right now we are going to plan the Bitcoin walk thing in the Migori area. So because now Jose has value and is aware of how he can do that, I don't need to be in between. For
Yeah.
something that can really happen. And on Joseph, man, let's do this. Now
Yeah.
you see my point. Then now,
Absolutely. Yeah. Take the middleman out of the equation. Yeah.
yeah, and then now it gives another person opportunity to also carry somebody else. And in one way or the other, for me, letting people know that regardless of whatever you're going through, there is somebody willing to support you. Only if you position yourself, in a good way or in a good manner that somebody feels like wow. Because for me, I do believe it's always an alignment. Because you always feel something. I do always feel something when I speak to you. I'm like, wow, perhaps you can do something. I do believe the feeling is mutual, and
Well,
you.
we all have our mission to fulfill. We all have our role to play, and I think we have to try and just be open minded and communicate and be respectful and stay humble. And basically, we will get to succeed at whatever it is. Alphonse, I'm talking to different people in this Walk the Talk show. I am. Last week I had Larry Lepard from, the author of The Big Print, a great guy whom I met, and he's a big a fan of Bitcoin Walk as well. We went for a Bitcoin Walk together, and we had some good conversations. Today I'm talking to you, and I've got some other guests aligned, and I deliberately, I want to keep it very diverse. I want to speak with people who understand Bitcoin, but have a completely different stories to tell. So again, thank you for your time. I do appreciate it, and apologies for me being late this time. That was my yeah, my bad. But yeah, let's wrap it up here. We've done almost an hour now.
Yeah, for
So I know people can follow you on Twitter and on the website as well. What's the best place for people to reach out to you?
they can reach out to me on X, that is Beyond Adversity. On Primo, that is Nostra. Beyond Adversity. Check out our website, Beyond Adversity. That is Beyond Adversity. It's c.com. You'll get to see us, and of course, you can join. You can join our community. We do have WhatsApp community, so it's free to join. So you can get to join, and of course, get to learn. And something that I love to do. For me, I do always love. I also do have. I do love diversity. So anyone who feels like he can get to, educate my people over here, we can always set up a class with our student, and of course let you share, what you know. Just
That is amazing. I think we might have lost you just at the very end, but I think we're done for today. So, again, thank you all so much. I'm going to wrap it up here. Have a great day.